Hey, you guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Michael. You have landed on Michael Clarida Arts. I'm, of course, Michael. So, this morning, I'm kind of continuing on in the whole, um, traditional drawing direction I've been going for the past, I don't know, couple weeks or so. I think that this really, as far as a starter for the morning, is something that really calms me down. It focuses me, it centers me, and it gives me just something to touch and feel. Working in the digital world for so long. Oh my gosh, I've been working in the digital world for 20 years. And, for a large portion of that time, I didn't really draw anything traditionally, for probably 10 years of it. So, I do occasional sketch here and there. I, crank out my sketchbook, you know, every once in a while. But most of the time I'd sit down at my Wacom Cintiq and I'd sit there and I'd do, character studies or whatever. And so I got really accustomed to, that Control Z, that undo, and being able to do things really quickly. And the digital realm is really good for that. But what I found out after a huge amount of time being in the digital world is I lost that connection to my art. Um, Not to mention, after 10 years of doing stuff digitally, you look around your house and you look around all the stuff you've done, and none of it is tangible, meaning you can't touch any of it. So, I probably 7, 8 years ago, I really decided to start doing things traditionally. And, you're like, well, what about your business? Well, I still do pretty much all my business stuff digitally just because of time constraints and, if I have to modify something. But every single time I get the chance to draw traditionally, I do it. For a while, I actually had a thriving mural business that I did traditional murals painting in acrylic. And I would always start out drawing on the wall with a Prisma pencil. And I would sketch everything out, and I found out that it was just so therapeutic and relaxing. This is probably no news to you guys who draw traditionally. Drawing to me is such a passion, and as you see, you guys, that I'm drawing monkey today, and I think earlier in the week I drew a chimpanzee. I think that was yesterday. And the reason why is because I just love drawing animals. My initial direction as far as an artist goes was to be an animator, whether it was with Disney or Warner Brothers or Film Roman. It really didn't matter. And one of the things that was always a stipulation when doing your portfolio was to have a large collection of animals that you drew from life, with gestures and, just to show that you had the ability to draw from life. And I had all that whenever I graduated. Of course, whenever you get absorbed into an art department or an art firm, which I did. I worked for Foot Locker for over 2 years, and I was a graphic designer. And I really, that was kind of that was the start of me becoming a professional commercial artist. But man, I'll tell you what, every single time I get the opportunity to draw animals, I just love drawing animals. And with that in mind, drawing animals, it takes a lot of practice, and it takes a lot of understanding of anatomy, and you have to really dive in. And I'm constantly looking at different animal courses and reference, and every opportunity I get to go to the zoo, I'll bring a sketchbook or something that, I could just jot down something really quick, or, a camera to take reference shots. So that was kind of a long intro. Sorry about that. But what I'm doing here is basically, doing a really rough sketch. If I decided to do digital paint or traditional paint, if I wanted to use this as a base to do something traditionally on a canvas, I can. And, using the toned paper, which you guys know I love, it gives me a mid-ground to draw on and really figure out my values. And also, if I decide to put any highlights in there or anything like that, which at the very end, I just did some really light highlights in his eyeballs just to give him a little bit of life. And, if at all possible, you should definitely draw from life, because it gives you that three-dimensionality, and it gives you something to look at and reference as you draw. Now, obviously, you can't have a monkey that sits here extremely still for 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. But you can take a photo of it and then just do your study sketches as you go and watch the movement and the weight and the gesture and how the animal moves will really help you understand the anatomy of the animal overall. I will be continuing on in doing these traditional sketches in the morning. Whether it's a monkey, whether it's a fish, whether it's a gorilla, I really don't know. This week I'm kind of focused on monkeys because I always told my students, I said, one of the great ways you can start to understand how to draw an animal is to pick an animal. Let's say you pick a tiger and you draw just a myriad of different types of tigers, and then you use that whole month, right, to draw something small, whether it's 15, 20 minutes. And then at the end, you'll understand the anatomy of the tiger. You'll, whatever animal you pick, tiger, wolf, bear, you can do this with insects. And it really helps you understand, that at the end of the day, a lot of times everything is kind of connected. We look at the monkeys, they have hands, elbows. You look at the bears, they have the same thing. You look at, cats, and they're just put in different places at different proportions, and they have spines, of course, if you're drawing mammals. But definitely pick an animal and draw it. Pick an animal a month. I think that would really help you guys. And right now, I'm just kind of strolling through, and just because I do stuff for the channel, I like to mix it up a little bit so you guys aren't bored. I have been drawing a lot of pirates and fish and birds and stuff just because, again, that's what I do. I pick a bird, which I love to do birds, or some other subject matter to show you guys. Anyway, hopefully this video didn't drone on too long. Like and subscribe, please. Share if you can. I try to put these videos out at least once a week, but that's it. See you next time.